Hey, what's up, guys? Max Chadwick alongside Dalton and Wasserman here. We're going to do a full 3-round mock draft for every NFC East team, starting off with the New York Giants. Let's pull up the PFF Mock Draft Simulator. Right now, you can find it at PFF.com. With a PFF Plus subscription, you can get access to this Mock Draft Simulator, a full 7 rounds if you want to do it for your team or every team in the NFL. You can trade players, you can trade picks, everything you want to do in this Mock Draft Simulator. All right, start the mock draft right now with the New York Giants currently picking number 3 overall. Don, I don't think we're going to trade this pick, right? We're going to stay here at number 3 overall.
No, I'm staying here. Absolutely.
Okay, and who do you want to take here? I think we want to go with the quarterback, right? And who's available right now? We have all the quarterbacks available to us right now. So between Shedeur Sanders and between Cam Ward, who are you kind of leaning towards here?
Well, it would be very surprising to see the Raiders ahead of them not take a quarterback, maybe sign a veteran option or something like that, but we're simulating it as the mock draft simulator wants it. So I think the question is, which one can we agree on would be the better of the two? I think Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in the draft, but is he the right fit for the Giants? And do you agree with that? Do you think he should be taken ahead of Cam Ward?
I would almost agree that Shedeur might be the best, but I kind of like the fit of Ward better if Dable's staying. Now, if we agree that Dable's staying, then I would say Cam Ward, but I don't know how guaranteed that is right now. So, because I like the Cam Ward fit in terms of how toolsy he is, and obviously we've seen Brian Dable before be really good toolsy quarterbacks like Josh Allen before. I would lean Cam Ward here for that fit alone, but if we don't think Dable's staying, then I would be agreeing, saying, hey, we should maybe take Shedeur Sanders here.
I could see the argument either way. I think these are the two surefire first-round quarterbacks. That's really the debate. Do we think Brian Dable is still going to be the coach of this team? If yes, then I'm willing to ride with Cam Ward and see where that goes, because like you mentioned, it's really about reining in the mistakes with him, right? And just, those turnover-worthy plays that late in the play can kind of kill him sometimes, right? It's just because we see all the positive. The big-time throws are there. He's really accurate when he's in rhythm in the pocket. He can launch the ball downfield. He's got a really good arm. So if we assume Dable is staying, we could go the Cam Ward route here. I don't hate it.
Let's operate under that assumption right now, because I think the Mariners have kind of talked about Dable and Joe Shane are both safe. Now I don't know how that'll go on as the season goes on, but I do think Dable should be keeping his job potentially, and then I think Cam Ward would fit that really well, because you mentioned you got to fix the turnover-worthy plays. He did it with Josh Allen, right? That was the issue with Josh Allen as well. You got to rein him in. He did that, and Cam Ward, I think you could potentially see being able to do that as well. And it won't be as high of a ceiling as Josh Allen, obviously, but he can still be a really, really good quarterback in the NFL. So we'll go with Cam Ward here to the Giants at number 3 overall. Now going up to their next pick here in the second round, number 35 overall. Any players that jump out to you? I kind of like Jahdae Barron here as a corner potentially for them. I think he's played like one of the best corners in the country this year. You could argue he's been the best cornerback in college football. But anyone else that really stands out to you here at number 35?
I mean, there's several. I think Jahdae Barron stands out. I think even Tyler Warren, if you wanted another Penn State tight end in there, along with Theo Johnson, makes sense. I think Walter Nolan makes some sense outside of Dexter Lawrence. They don't have a whole lot of depth in the interior, so I think there's several roads you could go down here, and it would make them a better football team. But Barron definitely sticks out, especially after a couple years they've kind of whiffed on Deonte Banks, and I don't think they put him in the best spot sometimes running as much man coverage as they do. It's not all Banks' fault, but it's still a spot they need to get better at. That is a spot, if you wanted to go there, I would understand it completely. I think some help in the trenches too. If there was other offensive line options, I wouldn't mind seeing that as well with this pick, because they need a lot of help up front as well.
Yeah, you mentioned the man coverage heavy scheme. I think Barron, as you can see by the grading profile, was a little bit better in zone coverage. Do you like the fit in this defense, or do you think maybe another corner would be a little bit better?
That's the thing, is we'd have to, maybe if we could scroll down there and see what else is in this range on the board, because Texas does play a ton of zone coverage. Yeah. They're a heavy zone coverage team. If there was another, if somebody like a Siobhan Revelle was maybe on the board here, and again, this is assuming that we're keeping Shane Bowen in this coaching staff
right,
in here,
right.
Then you're talking about, all right, we're staying man heavy. I think Siobhan Revelle is a man coverage type of corner, whereas Barron's had a lot of success in zone at Texas. So I think there is some debate about scheme fit and the talent level we see right there. In this simulation, Revelle went to the Chiefs at number 31 there, so he's off the board. And that's what can happen on draft night, right? You don't know. There's a zillion different scenarios that can happen, and this can be one of them, and then you're out on a player you might want. So I think you could still take a chance on Barron's talent, but There's also some trench options, or even if they wanted another primetime weapon, I think Tyler Warren is an option.
Yeah, I kind of like the Barron one because he's a very versatile player as well. He can play in the slot, can play outside. He even played a little safety at times as well for Texas in the past. So I like Barron. Again, man coverage is maybe not his strongest suit, and I know the Giants do employ a lot of man coverage in their scheme currently now.
And maybe they look in the offseason and go, okay, maybe we switch it up a little bit. Maybe let's go to more 3 and 4 and some things that our players are comfortable with, because I think if you go with a more of a zone scheme than Barron and Banks together, that could still work.
Yeah, and you mentioned how Banks is a lot better in zone, right, than he is in man coverage. So if you do that and you draft Barron, you can say, hey, we're going to play a lot more zone this year if you have a new defensive coordinator, which is possible. So, yeah, I think Jahdae Barron's a good pick here for the New York Giants in the second round. So we're going to go with Jahdae Barron with their second-round pick. All right, final pick for the Giants here in this 3-round mock draft. So we still haven't taken a tackle yet. I know that's kind of one of the needs you see for them right now. Is there a tackle you like on the board here, Dalton? Is there anyone else you kind of like seeing the top players available? Who do you like here for the Giants?
Let's, if we scroll it down or maybe go to that position group with the offensive tackle, either a right tackle or even an interior help would be good too. Maybe Marcus Umbau from Purdue might help us. Ozzie Trapillo's a good player, could play right tackle. Donovan Jackson listed as a tackle there, but he would go to the NFL as a guard. And actually, I wouldn't even hate that pick here either. Maybe we're reaching a little bit. Let's see maybe some of the interior guys as well outside of Jackson, because I think the Giants, outside of Andrew Thomas when he's healthy, the other 4 spots are a problem, right? They still have a serious problem pass protecting. And even in the run game, it's been an issue. So, I mean, if we take a look at the interior guys here, and we're talking – it gets a little slow. Although I don't hate Tate Ratledge.
Ratledge is a good player.
That would not be a terrible pick if you went Tate Ratledge here. I know it's early in the 3rd round, and we'll see where the consensus has all these things, and every team's got a different draft board. But I think a trench pick here makes a lot of sense, whether it's offensive line or defensive line. I think another guy I saw towards the top of the overall board there was, I think a guy like an Alfred Collins would fit this defensive line. I'm telling you, beyond Dexter Lawrence, there's not a ton of depth on the inside, and we're about to see that the next few games with Lawrence out for the season. They really struggled as a unit on the inside against Dallas last week on Thanksgiving. It's something where I think the Giants just in general can get better in the trenches. Now, there's also the prospect of Kevin Winston Jr. sitting there too. You could maybe put him with Tyler Nubin, and I think you have options here. So I'm curious your thoughts. I would probably go somewhere in the trenches on either side of the ball, but what do you think here?
I kind of lean trenches. I like taking an offensive lineman here, but I don't hate the Alfred Collins pick because I think that's probably the best player you could possibly want on the board for the Giants here. And I just don't love the offensive linemen that are available right now, but I do think they need help on the offensive line a lot. So I would lean trenches. I would lean either Alfred Collins or one of the offensive linemen, whatever you want.
Another element for me, just curious, when is the Giants' next pick here? Is it in round 4? Is there another do we have another 3rd round pick to play with here?
Let me see. No, there's no more 3rd round picks.
So yeah, I think I'm with you. I think Alfred Collins, I think he's a really good player, and I think him alongside Lawrence. And Collins is a very movable piece on the defensive line. 3-tech, 4-eye, 5-tech, wherever you want to put him and however you want to arrange those fronts, he could do that. I could go with Alfred Collins and get an offensive lineman early in the 4th round.
Love it. Yeah, let's do Alfred Collins there. I think the 4th round range is where you get more of the value for some of those offensive linemen that were available. So love it right there. As you see, our Giants mock draft, Cam Ward in the 1st round at number 3 overall, Jahdae Barron, the cornerback, in the 2nd round at number 35 overall, and then Alfred Collins, his Texas teammate, at 67 overall, the defensive tackle, going to them. We got a B+ for the PFF Mock Draft Simulator. Take your own mock draft today using the Giants, using any other team in the NFL you want, or all the teams in the NFL if you want as well. And be on the lookout for more of our NFC East 3-round mock drafts very soon.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below, so if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you can become one today.